For that, here's Jan Leeming with the news headlines.
Good afternoon. The Metropolitan Police Commissioner, Sir Kenneth Newman, has been briefing ministers on the siege at the Libyan People's Bureau. He visited St James's Square before a meeting of COBRA, the government's emergency committee. In Tripoli, the British Embassy is still under police guard. Intense diplomatic activity continues, although a sign on the door says it's closed for Easter. Libya's chief negotiator is to meet the British ambassador, Oliver Miles, later today. Colonel Gaddafi has offered to send Libyan investigators to London.
Colonel Gaddafi's accusations against the British are par for the course and not out of line with his standard public allegations about the British government. He still insists the British attacked the Bureau and regards the siege as provocative.
Of course, the Libyan people is very, very angry. And I can't expect what will take place in future if the situation goes in Britain in this bad behavior.
There is something of a stalemate at the moment, even though negotiations are in progress. What do you want the British government to do? But Colonel Gaddafi denied there was stalemate. Things are opening up, he said. And then he went on to offer what, in his view, is a practical solution to the siege. That the Libyans send an investigation team to London to look into what happened, and, if necessary, bring Libyans to trial in Libya, with Britain sending international observers. However, he maintains Britain must do the same, investigating the action of British police and the student demonstrators. As he maintains, no one in the Libyan Bureau is or was armed.
There's been little activity in and around St James's Square this morning, and there seem to be fewer police than usual on duty there. The government's emergency committee, codenamed COBRA, met again this morning for 2.5 hours. They heard a report from Sir Kenneth Newman, the Metropolitan Police Commissioner, who'd earlier spent over an hour at St James's. The Home Secretary said they'd be meeting again after lunch. And it's lunchtime too for those inside the Libyan mission. A fresh delivery of food went in a few minutes ago. The Prime Minister, who's been to morning service, had no comment to make about the situation as she left church. The IRA say one of their men was killed in a car bomb explosion in Londonderry last night. They say 20-year-old Richard Quigley, who came from the Bogside, was on active service when the bomb went off. He was killed by flying debris. 3 members of a security patrol for whom the bomb was intended were hurt, but not seriously. Chris Moore reports from the scene.
The bomb was concealed in a hijacked van and was abandoned with its rear doors open, pointing towards the dual carriageway in the city centre near the Guildhall. As a joint police and army patrol passed within yards of the van, the bomb was detonated.
It's thought a piece of fishing line was used to detonate the bomb from a point close to this building and about 70 feet away from the van. A piece of debris fatally wounded a man standing at the corner. The IRA locally say he was one of their members killed on active service.
Police say a 35-gallon drum of petrol was used to make a fireball and that large bricks were packed around the explosives to cause the maximum amount of injury or death. A soldier died in a similar bomb attack in Derry just a few weeks ago.
5 people, including a newborn baby, have died in 3 separate fires in Scotland. The baby girl died when a fire destroyed her home near Uig on the Isle of Skye. At Pleen, 3 people from the same family were killed at their home. And in Aberdeen, an elderly man died in another house fire. There's been fighting between rival gangs of Hell's Angels camped for the weekend near Cheddar in Somerset. 2 teenage girls say they've been raped, a van's been set on fire, and a man's been beaten up. The police are out in force at Shipham, and for a while this morning roads in the area were sealed off. The Archbishop of Canterbury has described the Christian faith itself as the only real evidence of Christ's resurrection. In his Easter Day sermon, Dr. Runcie said that because of the heroism and sacrifice of Christians, Jesus is no dead hero, but a living saviour. At the Vatican, the biggest crowd ever, more than 300,000 pilgrims gathered for the Pope's Easter Sunday address. Hunger and violence were the Pope's main theme. He denounced torture and terrorism and spoke of the contrast of our age, an ardent desire for peace and the feverish preparation for war. After the address, the Pope brought to an end the extraordinary Holy Year of Redemption. It's held every 25 years for Roman Catholics to seek redemption by making pilgrimages to Rome. The Holy Year is ended when the Pope ceremonially closes the heavy bronze doors of St. Peter's Basilica. That's all for now. Our next scheduled news is at 10 to 6, and I'll leave you with the weather chart.
Central and eastern parts of England will be rather cloudy this afternoon, with isolated showers, although tending to brighten up as time goes on. Elsewhere it will be dry with a good deal of sunshine. Most places will be warm again, but eastern areas of England will be much cooler than yesterday.
Highlights of your Easter Day entertainment on BBC1. At 7:15, Chariots of Fire, the television premiere of a triumph of the British cinema. The Oscar-winning success story of two great Olympic champions.
I'd like to wish you the best of success.
Thank you. And may the best man win.
At 9:15, Mastermind reaches the first semi-final, and returning to answer questions on new subjects are Bob Fowkes, Primrose Wood, Richard Joby and Malcolm Parnell. At 10 o'clock, I Was Jesus, some celebrated actors giving their reactions to undertaking this demanding role.
Obviously was a man that had incredible magnetism and a great sense of for the teachings and philosophies of life, you know. I mean, there's a load of sense in the Bible.
Chariots of Fire, Mastermind, and I Was Jesus. Highlights of Easter Day on BBC1.
Well, just started on BBC2 is a new series of Sunday Grandstand with Desmond Lynam, featuring world snooker from Sheffield, tennis from Monaco, and for followers of cricket, Christopher Martin Jenkins looks back over the past winter months. Here on BBC1, our Easter Day Family Matinee offers you a chance to enjoy the considerable delights of one of the most popular feature films ever made. The Sound of Music, starring Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer.
Tonight, BBC1 premieres the triumph of British cinema, Chariots of Fire. Two matchless British champions chasing Olympic glory. Eric Liddell.
I've never seen such drive, such commitment in a runner. He runs like a wild animal.
And Harold Abrahams.
They say he can run like the wind.
The Oscar-winning picture of Olympic-winning perfection, Chariots of Fire, has its television premiere tonight at 7:15 on BBC1.
In half an hour, Terry Wogan will be along with a foretaste of the sounds that will be heard in Luxembourg on May the 5th, in the first of his Eurovision Song Contest previews. But first, preparations are underway for a show of a very different kind now, and no prizes for guessing that it ain't half hot, Mum.